Have you heard about Álfablót? Commonly known as Viking Halloween. It was celebrated at the end of October, around 25th, 26th of October. And it is an offering to the elves. So we will do an Álfablót here. We will go outside when we get some daylight and we will do the Álfablót and give an offering to the elves. The Álfablót has this shroud of secrecy because it was a very private celebration. So you would make an offering to the elves, but also you would remember your ancestors. You would honor the ancestors. So in that way you could say that it is closely related to Halloween, although the Álfablót is much older than Halloween. There is this mysterious connection between the ancestors and the elves, and some say that the elves are actually the ancestors, and some say that, well, the elves are totally different from the ancestors. So it just goes to show that there is so much that we still don't know and about the Norse and in pre-Christian times. And when I say pre-Christian, we know that actually they did celebrate the Álfablót after Christianity was introduced in Scandinavia. There is a story about a bard, a skald, Sigvard Skald. He was sent as a diplomat by Olav Haraldsson to King Olof in Sweden. And one time they were trying to find a place to stay for the night. So they found a farmstead, and Sigvard, he knocked on the door, but they wouldn't open. So he stuck his nose in through the opening between the wall and the door. But the people inside said that he was not welcome there. So Sigvard replied by saying something along the lines, so may the trolls get you. And they moved on to the next farmstead. But the woman there said that you are not welcome here. We are celebrating the Álfablót. And she chased him away. And they tried 3 more houses. But they were chased away and they were not welcome. And the men there, they all called themselves Ölvir. They all said that their name was Ölvir, and they did not find a place to stay for the night, that night at least. You can find that story in the poem Ástfaravísur, written by Sigvard himself. Now don't think about these elves as the elves from fantasy novels and movies. These elves could be mean, so could the ancestors. If you did not care for your animals, if you did not care for your farm, and so on, you could be punished by both the ancestors and the elves. I said that these men that Sigvard met that night, they called themselves Ölvir. Why is that? Were they all called Ölvir? No. It appears that during Álfablót, the man took the name of Ölvir. And I believe it comes from the word öl, which means beer that you drink. And you would offer öl, beer, to the elves and the ancestors. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And I think it's actually something that we should do, you know. So as I said, when we get some daylight, we will make an offering to the elves and the ancestors by the old oak just outside here. Now, before I continue with this video, may I ask you to hit that subscribe button and please leave a comment. That would be awesome as well. It is very difficult now to compete with these AI channels that are, you know, just flooding the YouTube platform and other platforms, and especially in the history segment. And the information that they are offering is most often, or should I say always, not correct. Álfablót was celebrated after the harvest, and it was the woman in the house who was responsible for that particular celebration. It was about fertility. And even though the man would call himself Ölvir, and my guess is that that meant that he would do the offering of beer to the elves and the ancestors, it was predominantly the woman who took care of that whole celebration. So it tells us a lot about how women were so important in pre-Christian Norse society. And it saddens me that it seems like they lost a lot of that importance after the introduction of early Christianity. I'm saying early Christianity because it should not be confused with our modern perception of Christianity. I often think about how people back then were so much closer to nature. And I often ponder about how we got here to this, not this, but out there, that so-called modern society where people live their lives in a very artificial way, removed and disconnected from nature, and also removed and disconnected from life itself. Something to think about, I guess. And while some people would laugh at the old ways and the celebration of ancestors and the elves and the forces of nature, at least I can say with certainty that the ancestors are real. Well, in the sense at least that, you know, they lived, they were real human beings among us, and we remember them by celebrating their memory. And the forces of nature, they are very, very real. I just wanted to add that because every time I talk about the old ways and the old Norse gods and my cultural heritage as a Norwegian, there are people who start writing in the comments that I'm celebrating Satan and all of that, and they go on and on about God and Jesus and so on. And please don't do that. Now here comes the rain. Maybe a response to the offering. Thank you for watching, and thank you if you have subscribed to this channel for being a part of this wonderful community. You can check out one of the other videos that should pop up here on the end screen, and I upload videos every Saturday. So I'll see you in a few days. Bye bye.